All right, guys. We'll get it started. It's a kind of a weird week this week, having a public holiday on a Tuesday, but I don't get much of a rest tomorrow. I'll be putting these appointments. Not complaining. Enjoy what I do, but yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your public holiday tomorrow, and I'll hopefully have the appointments out in time for you. All right, great to have footy up and running finally. It was a warm day, and I know I wouldn't be alone in saying still feeling it from Saturday, but well done for you all for getting through. And I had a lot of you doubling up, a lot of you doing back to back. We had almost 50 field umpires unavailable last week, which is crazy. So I really appreciate all your efforts to make round one happen. So on to round two. We've got a couple of milestones. Chris Cummins, who I know's on the Zoom, he's doing his 50th. So well done, Chris. It's a bit of a mix of boundary and field in that 50 games, but well done for hitting that. And a big one, a 500th game milestone to Greg Simon. So Greg umpired out at the Sandford many years ago, umpired a bit with him out there, and then he's come over to Adelaide Footy League, and he's notching up game number 500 this Saturday. So well done, Greg, and he wouldn't be on the line because he's heading to the MCG tonight to watch his beloved Tigers play Melbourne, and but he'll be back for the weekend. So well done to you guys. All right, just want to throw out some reminders. We've got some new umpires, especially that probably need just a tap on the shoulder about some of these things. Make sure that your whistle is an Acme Thunderer. Any other whistle just sounds wrong. It needs to be either the metal or the plastic Acme Thunderer. As we've been saying, we want everyone in the new C-Max shirts. Now, I know that sports centres run out of some sizes. If you've gone in and the size wasn't there, they should have taken an order. And I understand the shirts will be done this week. So just make sure if you're in that category that you have picked up your shirt in time for this Saturday. Now, Golden Grove games. We do have a clash with our green top. So the instruction in the past has been to wear a grey polo shirt. And if both and it's just the field umpires, the boundary and goals, don't have to worry about it. But for the field umpires, if you are umpiring Golden Grove, you can wear the grey polo shirt, but probably an easier option is just to turn your green shirt inside out. So you're wearing white and it won't clash. But yeah, we had a game or two with the Golden Grove on the weekend where they didn't either wear the shirt inside out or the grey shirt, and it was noticeable, it was commented on. So yeah, easy fix, just turn your shirt inside out if you don't have a grey shirt. We really need all umpires to wear green wristbands as part of the uniform. If you or any of the umpires you're on with don't wear them, you need to. So if you're on with someone that hasn't got the green wristbands, just tap on the shoulder and say, hey, make sure you get them ready for next week. We want to look the part. Whether you have a good day or a bad day, we always want to look professional. And if you have one of those days, and we all have them, you're better to look the part than not, because an unprofessional looking umpire just looks terrible. So part of the uniform is wristbands. You need to be wearing them. And just another reminder that before every game, you need to check both sides have a match day official in place, and that's wearing, I think it's the orange top. If they don't start the game. It's part of the club's responsibility to have a match day official in place. That's for not only A grade, but B grade and C grade, any women's game. The match day official is the one that we go to if there are any problems. And so the clubs need to have someone assigned to that role. So yeah, no point putting in a comment after the game on Officials HQ that this club didn't have a match day official, which is what happened on the weekend. At the end of the day, the game shouldn't have been started if the club didn't have that organised. We're getting some clubs not keeping up to speed with the situation with club boundary umpires. So last year, because of COVID, they were given a bit of an out with the B and the C grade men's games. They were told it was up to you whether or not you want to provide a boundary umpire, and if they didn't, then the field umpires would just bring the ball in and throw it up if there was a need for a throw in. That's still the case for the C grade. So if you're doing a C grade and the clubs don't provide a boundary, you just have to adapt to that. But for B grade, the instruction from the league, and for all A grade, obviously, the instruction from the league is that club boundary umpires must start the game if we don't provide them. So we only provide boundary umpires in 1 reserves and Div 1 and Div 2 A grade. So for all other games, just make sure the clubs are organised, and again, don't start the game without it. Matt, I'm getting dizzy watching you. Where the hell are you? Walking around the house doing some housework. You're the one that's coming up on my screen, and yeah, I'm feeling dizzy. All right. We had a few red cards on the weekend. It's pretty standard for round one. Well, that's better, Matt. In a couple of different ways. There's always a bit of a spike in red cards in round one. Players are a bit excited, and we tend to have a few crop up. It's sort of the standard trend each year. I think we had 8 or 9 on the weekend. Plus we had some videos coming today, so I'll end up with quite a few. Now we did have the thanks, Matt. We did have the comment back that there was 2 red card sections in the officials HQ, and one of them wasn't working properly. So we fixed that up now. Now there's only 1 section for red cards, but like the yellow cards, where you go in and you get to choose how many cards there are. With the red cards, you can actually choose to have more than 1 red card, and you can put in multiple red cards into the system now. So it should be all fixed from here on in. Now, we had a couple of games where clubs were complaining about instances that occurred behind the play or things that weren't picked up. Most clubs are aware of this, but if you're approached and a club is asking, are you going to do something about it? Or are you going to look at the video, or etc.? The process is, if an umpire doesn't report or do a red card on the day, other than yellow cards for dangerous tackles where you can upgrade, essentially, if a club feels like there needs to be a reportable incident laid and the umpires haven't done it on the day, they need to ask the league to investigate. They need to contact the league office on Monday with either video evidence or witness statements, and the guys in the office will take the clubs through that. So it's not for us to go through videos and look for instances. We're not resourced for that. There's no expectation for you guys to go do that. It is up to the clubs to complain, put in a request for an investigation, and the process will unfold from that. The last comment I've got on my list here is just about the Inclusive League. So we do provide umpires for the Inclusive League, which are usually held at 4:45 on Saturdays. That starts this Saturday. I've had a handful of expressions of interest, but I could do with some more field umpires for that panel. So it doesn't have to be every week, but if you're interested in helping out and doing some of those inclusive games, just send me an email. Any help would be appreciated. All right, so that's all on my list. We're going to go through the coaching video in a minute. Has anyone got any questions or comments from the weekend just been, either from the game you're in or something you're watching, or even an AFL game? Now's the time to unmute yourself and ask away.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's Chris.
No.
Hang on, we've got a couple of different ones. So Chris Lambert, is it?
Yeah, mate. Hey, so just very quickly, on Saturday, I had one where in the C grade, I thought the fixed player deliberately shepherded the ball out of bounds. I could have quite easily picked it up and run away with it, and I didn't pay the free. So I thought in one of those videos we watched with AdFL, if they chose to not take the ball when there's plenty of time to get there, that was a ball in. So I just want to clarify that.
It's exactly what's on the interpretations video.
Yep.
It's only when they shepherd an opponent from getting to the ball. It's not that.
So what? So if they could easily pick it up and run away with it, but made a choice to pretty much stop and let it roll out, it's a free.
Still a free kick, 100% a free kick.
Right.
Yeah,
Right, we're not. Right.
We're not trying to read intent into players for the last possession rule. It's a clear kick or handball, out of bounds, it's a free kick. It's only if they shepherd an opponent from touching the ball that we don't pay the free kick.
All right.
Yeah. Did you call for a throw, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had another umpire do that last week. Actually, I'm glad you brought it up because I don't want anyone else doing it. If they choose not to touch it and it rolls out of bounds, you still pay the free. It's only if they stop it. All right. Got someone with some background noise there. Is that you, Balsy?
Yeah, just a quick one, Cole.
Yep.
Just a reminder for everyone, don't do what I did on the weekend. I read the Friday email and I knew I had 2 games. I got all ready for the C grade in the morning and I quickly just checked my emails. And unfortunately, I looked at the one from the day before thinking that the C grade was cancelled. And so I stuffed up. So make sure you read Colin's instructions carefully.
Yes, Balsy, I like your honesty and the fact that you're willing to own up to the group. But if we do ever get a forfeit, we actually ring you.
Yeah.
I thought we may get someone do it. I didn't expect it to be Balsy, but maybe that whistleblower went to your head, mate. And
I had a few things on my mind.
I think you're Brad Pitt. One of those things, mate. You might end up in the whistleblower this week.
Yeah. Okay.
And thanks to Dave Monaghan, who organised the club umpire and was able to manage that without you. Yeah, you owe him a beer, Balsy.
Yeah, I'll definitely get him a beer. Yeah. I can do the first one of your quiz things too today, if you want to.
All right. We'll see about that when we get to it. Anyone else, anything from the weekend that they want to raise?
It's Paul here, Cole. I guess the only thing is we were at St Paul's College on the weekend and the facilities for the umpires were just deplorable. We haven't even got a chair in the room that we were given, not even a chair to sit down. We had sinks there with no water coming through them. So you would think.
Do you want to just email me about that? No need to bring it up on the Zoom here. We can deal with that off. Through sending me an email and we can address that with the club.
Thank you.
I mean, at the end of the day, there are going to be some clubs that have better facilities than others. It's just a nature of community footy, and some of them haven't been able to upgrade like some others. Obviously where we train, the facilities at CBC Oval aren't fantastic for umpires. That's an obvious one, but they're wanting to upgrade their facilities. A lot of other clubs have had the benefit of being able to get funding to upgrade it. So when we go to a club where the facilities aren't as good as others, sometimes we just have to just bear with it and understand the circumstances. But if there's something they can do to make it better, then sure, we can address it. All right. Anyone else?
Me. All right.
Makita.
Okay, on the weekend, I had a guy get a split nose. I called for the blood rule, and I had a lot of players saying, he's over there, let's start the game. And I had another player saying, don't you know the rule? He must be off the field until we can commence play again. And I said, that's correct. So is that correct?
So, look, the blood rule first came in many years ago when HIV and AIDS was a big issue. We're going back a while now.
Yeah, it's a big split.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So I'm just giving you a bit of background on it. And it used to be any sign of blood, your game had to stop, and you got them off. And then I guess when it got to a point where minor bleeding or passive bleeding, as they used to call, we didn't have to stop the game. It was just basically tell the player to get a trader to attend it. But if you take it's a big split and the blood is streaming out and then obviously that's where you stop play, make them run off. Get them replaced.
It was the other players with opposition saying, let's start the game. He's over by near the boundary, as close as the boundary, not over yet. And I said, sorry, Gabe's looking to start until he's over the boundary line and out of play.
Yeah, Yeah, that's fair, Marquita. I guess we also just have to have a bit of game awareness too in a B grade or a C grade or a women's game where there's no time on. If there's any thought that they might be wasting time, might just want to hurry them up and get the game started a little bit quicker. But you're fine. You're right. Technically, the rule is they need to be replaced, and we wait for the replacement. You really want the replacement player to come on, and they can run on before the other player's off the ground. Want that replacement player in place before we get the game underway.
Yep, that's what happened.
Yep, very good. Thanks again, Marquita, for doing your first men's game.
Will it be my first and last, or will I get another one?
Yeah, I know you enjoy doing the women, so we'll try and make that happen again for this week.
Thanks, Colin.
All right. Anyone else? All right. Let's get on to the coaching video, which hopefully you've had a chance to have a look at. Went up late last night. All right. So just a reminder for those that that weren't aware, these coaching sessions are from the footage from last year, and I'll make sure that they're posted by Monday morning at the latest, usually by Sunday night. So you can go, they normally go for 5 or 6 minutes. All right. Balesy, you are keen to do number one, where?
Yeah, I'll have a go at it.
I don't know whether I can allow you, mate, after what you did on the weekend, but all right.
That's right.
All right, let's go.
I might get this one wrong as well. Okay, right.
Okay, let's let it roll.
Yeah.
I think the first one's the easy one, mate.
Yeah.
So, yes, this one is the easy one. All right, tell us your thoughts, mate.
Right. Well, the ball was thrown in a bit short, so the ruckman had knocked the ball down towards a player, and the player socketed it back, but he should have just picked it up and given it back to the field, the boundary umpire.
Okay, that's an interesting take.
Because it looks a bit rough if they're just soccering the ball back to a boundary umpire. It looks a bit when you could just pick it up and give it back to him.
So you would have paid a free kick against the one that was kicking back. Oh, I don't know. Let me have another look. It's not the reason I put it on there, to be honest. It was simply a discussion point regarding recalling a boundary.
Yeah.
So really, the main thing I wanted to point out with this is, I mean, you're going to get a lot of. That was a Div 1 grand final, so it wasn't expecting in a Div 1 grand final. But with club umpires quite often, or young kids in women's games, you're going to get some boundary throw-ins which aren't ideal. I'm really only wanting the throw-ins which go to one particular player from one side, and it's an unfair contest to be recalled. So in this instance, it's definitely a worthy recall. The player a contest on his own. As far as what happens after that, let me just have another look. It's not something that even crossed my mind, mate, but let's have a look.
Nothing in it, Cole.
Yeah.
So Matt was in charge of this bit one. He doesn't want to look like he got it wrong.
It was a short throw. That was the main thing.
Mate, he's kicked it straight back to the boundary. There's no problem there. There's no delay in play.
Right.
If he'd kicked it away, kicked it into the fence, or not returned it properly, then you pay for a kick. I don't have a problem at all with what that player did.
No,
he's actually, he's got it straight back to the boundary umpire. Really, the point of that decision was a bit of guidance regarding recalls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, thanks, mate. You got that one right. Is that what you want me to hear you say?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. Yeah. Shallow throw it up.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Let me pick on someone. Someone that we haven't asked for a while. So, Pete Morgan. Can you unmute yourself, mate? So you might have missed it. Yeah, there we are. You might have sent a missed call on your phone before. Don't worry about ringing me back, mate. I've got it sorted. All right, here we go with number 2.
Supposed to be pressing anything?
Just watching the video, mate, and tell me what you think. It's an interesting one.
Ooh. Oh,
Well, what'd you make of that, mate?
I would have thought it was a high tackle, I must admit.
Certainly was.
Ball player, wasn't
That's the first part of the video. What do you make of the second part?
it? Or did somebody else come in there then? Did they?
Yep.
Disputed or took him from behind. That's why it went to the other way.
Let's have another look. That's exactly right, mate. So you're watching.
Yeah.
Watching again. High tackle.
High tackle.
And then number 2.
Oh, I see. Then they
Sent to the ground.
They reversed the decision.
So the point of this clip, really top class umpiring from Cross, really aware of what's going on. Obvious and a blatant high tackle initially,
Yes.
but there's no need for the other player to come in and push him to the ground. And at the end of the day, it's worthy of a reversal, because what you don't want in that scenario is the players taking it into their hands, which is what he's done. He's come in to remonstrate, and he's pushed the player to the ground, which just makes it worse. At the end of the day, you can tell him, hey, mate, I've paid the free kick. There was just no need for that. So rather than in that instance, just warning him and telling him he's done the wrong thing, take no shit and reverse it and make him pay, because the last thing you want is players thinking that they can take things into their own hands. You're the one out there making decisions. You're the ones keeping control. And if you've got players coming doing that type of thing, you're going to be breaking up fights all day long.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. All right. Hilly. You're up. All right, what's the take, mate?
Well, it's pretty straightforward. The field umpires deemed that the girl who played on ran more than 15 metres without bouncing it, and he's called it quite clearly with that rolling of the arms.
Hang on. What we're doing here is not giving you a description of what the umpires have done, because the umpires will sometimes get these wrong. So there's part of this, what's the decision is, what would you do?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, well, look, to me, it was borderline, and I would have let it play on, because look, if it was over 15 metres, it wouldn't have been by much. So benefit of the doubt, play on.
Mate, that's why I have you umpiring Div 1. That's exactly the answer I was looking for. So you could technically say that player ran 15 metres or more than 15 metres. You could get the tape measure out and prove to me. But I reckon most of you would have been watching that passage of play thinking that, she's about to get rid of it and just to let it go. And I hope that's what you're thinking, because what we don't want with these running too fast is you to get technical about it. Unfortunately, this decision occurred, you can see, fourth quarter in a 17-minute game. You can see the score. The team had one last chance to go down and take a shot at goal. And it was decided that player ran too far and cost the team a chance at getting a goal to win the grand final. It was a decision which really annoyed me, to be honest. And really the philosophy with running too far is it needs to be really obvious. So when you start thinking, they're getting close to running too far, make another step or two before you call it. And if they get rid of it, just play on. Does that make sense? Anyone want to comment on that?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Please note, it wasn't Peter Morgan that was umpiring the game and gave the decision to Pulteney's way. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I like it, Pete. No, it wasn't you. I think most of you who seen the footage, they may recognise who it is. And look, we all make mistakes. That was a really bad one in my point of view. And I haven't spoken to him about it because Jack's not umpiring with us this year. He's doing other things. Jack's a really good umpire, so I'm not saying that he got a grand final for a reason. It's just that particular decision I didn't like, because you want those running too fast to be really obvious, and if you're erring on the side of the ball player, no one's going to complain. And that was a very technical interpretation of that rule there. and yeah, so be it. We make mistakes, we move on. But yeah, I guess I wanted to highlight that one so that when you guys are in a similar situation this weekend and you see a player that's running too far, just make sure it's really obvious. And if they're getting close to 15 meters and they're going to handball or kick, just let it go. All right. Very good.
Yeah, Colin, I had one on the weekend where I called for travelling too far. He was down the wing, bounced, kept running. I thought, hey, boy, you're not going all the way to the goal square to kick a goal. So I called it, and he dropped the ball down. Okay, he dropped the ball down, and he sort of threw his hands in the air. And then the other player that was alongside him picked up the ball, but as the other player went to run off, he grabbed hold of his jumper or his leg or something, and I saw that movement, and I went to reverse it, and the other guy was laughing, and he said, see, I got the kick, and I went, no, it's we should go this way, thanks.
Sounds like an interesting game there, Makita. So at the end of the day,
it was surprisingly handled pretty well by the players.
All right, very good. The message out of this is I'm not telling you guys not to pay running too far. Just make it really obvious. And if you're giving him an extra step or two and a bit of leniency, go with the ball player. Yeah. All right, let's get through the rest of this video. So the topic tonight is pay the first free. And there's some pretty basic messages throughout this. And those of you that are used to Shane Harris's coaching will recognise a lot of these sayings, but yeah, it's basically paying the obvious and blatant free kicks. Rashi, I saw you online. You want to come on and tell us why you got that right? Are you there, mate? Or maybe he logs on and doesn't watch. Anyway, all right. Essentially, there's a fend off. There's the prior opportunity because he fended off. Tackle. No handball or kick. Obvious. Free kick. Right. Now in that situation there, sure the player's unlucky. He slipped over, but he's had a prior opportunity. You do sometimes get a situation where a player either slips over or actually gets injured. We don't want to actually like go soft on a player just because something unlucky happens to him. Just still follow the process. Have they had a prior opportunity? Do they handle or kick when tackled? And if they don't, then pay hold on the ball. Rashi's just rejoining the meeting. He must have got disconnected when I was asking. All right, with this one here, the player turns around, has had a prior opportunity, clearly doesn't get a handball or kick when tackled. So another obvious and blatant hold the ball. Make sure you're keeping your distance and react to the obvious. So Joel here throws the ball up. Pretty hard to move quickly in that mud, but he does well to get a bit of distance. Is able to have a good view of that contest and see that the players had a proper opportunity. Make sure that there was no handball or kick when tackled, and pays hold of the ball. Similarly, he gets into a position of 20-25 meters, sees that the player doesn't make a genuine attempt, delays the whistle before he blows it for holding the ball. So the key to those two decisions were just keeping your distance. And Cam here similarly keeps his distance, sees the player, dives on the ball. Rashi, are you there now? Just got a text from you. Can you unmute now?
I can now, yeah.
All right, very good. I'll get you to tell us what happens in the next one.
I'll try. It's very grainy. I can't really see very well, Colin.
How did you pull up from the weekend first?
Fine. No problems at all.
You're a machine. All right. Tell us what you think from here.
I just dived on the footy.
Yep.
Went to ground, dived on the footy, holding the ball.
Yep.
Textbook.
And just delaying the whistle enough to make sure it's not coming out.
Yeah.
All right. Same thing there. So I did the Brighton Tea Tree Gully women's game in the weekend, and especially the Tea Tree Gully girls, I found they just didn't get the message that we were going to pay a hole in the ball every time they were on the ground, grabbed hold of it, and the pack developed. We just paid hole in the ball after hole in the ball. And what we need you guys to do is be really consistent with whatever level you're doing, whether A grade, B grade, C grade, women's. Make sure we all work to that philosophy of we want the players to keep their feet. We want them to knock it clear if they're on the ground, but if they choose to take possession on the ground and they cause the ball up, we need to penalise them week after week so the players understand and they adjust accordingly, because they will adjust, and it's just a matter of us reinforcing that message. Keep your feet, or if you're on the ground, knock it clear. If the old saying, if they want to play footy, let them. So there's a couple of good passages here where no obvious and blatant free kicks. If you went looking for free kicks, you could have paid something. Let the whistle go. Nothing obvious and blatant until at the end where it's obviously held in and call for the ball up. Want to protect the ball player. It's a key saying you need to keep in mind when you're talking about paying the first free. So player go and get the footy. In this case, it comes loose and then is tackled afterwards. And if we do make a mistake, if we're erring on the side of the ball player, no one's going to lose any sleep. And expect the unexpected. You're always going to get something in a game where you weren't quite expecting. In this case here, you do find you get some of these free kicks where the legs are taken out, whether it's contact below the knees or in this case a trip. So you just react to what happens. So set the game up initially. So focus on your first 10 minutes. That needs to be when you go into every game, set the stand in your first 10 minutes. And once you get through that first 10 minutes, maintain that standard. So that's the coaching video for today. Any questions at all? Any comments before we wind up? We're all happy Crows and Power supporters this week.
Absolutely, Colin.
So I'm still recovering from yesterday. All right. Well done, guys. A good round one. I'm pretty happy with how everything went from Saturday. That's one down, 17 rounds to go, plus finals. But it's great that we're underway. Thanks for joining in tonight. Enjoy your day tomorrow. And for those coming to training on Wednesday, we'll see you then.
Have a great one, Colin.